For today's cup of coffee, we want to thank everyone who sent birthday greetings and well wishes to oldest kid.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you got to see our little odd family.
Mm-hmm. Except for Nana.
Well, she
Mama.
was in there a little bit.
I wanted to show the mama, but she's like, no.
No, the mama always looks like she has crawled off the back of a Harley.
And what's wrong with that? Is that not a goal?
It's been many years since I was on the back of a Harley. And
what's wrong with that?
It's just that, the mama looked rough. So I would rather, if I'm going to show myself, I would like to look not as rough. So
just put some glasses on. There you go. You're fine.
No.
You're fine anyway.
No. Anyhow. But it was a fun birthday celebration.
Tell her she's fine. Tell her she looks fine, even though I know y'all can't see her and never have. But damn it, tell her she looks fine, because she does.
So, now, last Halloween, now you've totally screwed up the microphone. Last Halloween, I made an appearance.
For like a split second.
That's all it took. They can go back and search that. This, it was Halloween of 2021. So.
I hate this microphone.
You decided to get really melodramatic and touch the microphone.
I am a theater kid. What do you expect? I have a Leo rising. What do you expect? And I have something in Sagittarius, and they are dramatic as hell. What do you expect?
I have a son in Leo, and it's a matter of some self-control. It's a matter of royalty, dignity.
There's a difference between a sun sign and a rising sign.
Yeah, there is.
Vast difference.
Anyhow, we have from Mysterious Universe today.
All about the drama.
Paul Seaburn.
Speaking of drama.
He's actually done quite well lately. June 26th of 2022. And Brazil's government UFO hearing revisits the night of UFOs with 11,500 mile per hour craft, alien abductions, and more. Now, this has quite a few names that I am not even going to attempt.
You're going to try.
The link will be in the description box so you can go on there and pronounce these things, or at least read them.
Yeah.
For yourself, rather than me sitting here making an ass of myself more than I do daily.
Yes.
So I even looked to try to find a pronunciation, and even tried to listen to other people I don't know exactly what they were speaking. I don't know that it was Brazilian. I don't know if Brazil speaks Spanish or Portuguese or something like that, but it is not mountain.
I don't know, but Brazil loves everybody.
Yeah. Brazil would be a great place. A great place to visit and stuff.
Yeah.
While the U.S. Congress and the Department of Defense should be commended for finally holding a public hearing on Pentagon investigations of UFO encounters reported by U.S. military personnel, that hearing pales in comparison to a special session held by Brazil's Senate on Ufology, a session which included testimonies from experts outside of Brazilian military and outside of Brazil itself on research and scientific investigations into unidentified aerial phenomena. The hearing, which received national media coverage, included detailed information on many unexplained encounters, including an event in 1986, now referred to as Night of the UFOs, when 5 fighter jet pilots chased and hundreds of troops on the ground witnessed 21 objects, some an estimated 300 feet wide, appear and disappear at speeds up to 11,500 miles per hour.
Oh my God.
And so instead of trying to cover this up, these people are actually trying to figure out what this was.
Yeah.
As opposed to our group of people. And because this is Mr. Seaburn, somebody quoted, so we are very honored. It is very gratifying to have this opportunity to organize this important event here in the federal Senate, destined to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the World Day of UFOlogy, a date chosen in the face of a massive sighting of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, in the airspace of the United States in the year 1947. Detail exactly on June 24th, 1947, today's date, end quote. The conference was chaired by Senator, now this is the one that is going to throw me, and it's Eduardo, G-I-R-A with a little squiggly over it, O. So I'm going to refer to this gentleman as Senator. Yes. Because, like I said, I don't know if it's a Spanish or a Portuguese. I looked. 15 minutes I looked, and it's like, no, it didn't happen. Anyhow.
Nobody knows how to pronounce it?
No, people other than on the internet knows how to pronounce it. So the senator opened by introducing a heavy-hitting lineup of guests, which included a retired British detective and UFO investigator, Robert Silas. He was the only one whose name I knew how to pronounce, who in 1967 was a witness of UFOs allegedly shutting down U.S. missile sites, a government advisor, and the president of the Brazilian Commission of Ufologists, plus a number of leading technical investigative experts. The senator also mentioned that the conference was being held on the 21st anniversary of the first ufology museum in Latin America, and unlike in the U.S., the Brazilian Air Force has already made available to the National Archives more than 20,000 pages of documents with records of spacecraft movements that could not be explained with modern technology.
What the fuck?
Because they're trying to be transparent instead of covering shit up.
The what the fuck wasn't like negative. It's just like, what the fuck? They're being more transparent than our government ever could be.
Yeah.
Damn, why can't we live in Brazil?
Well, it's a matter of why couldn't the United States take some of the best traits of other nations? Why couldn't any nation take some of the best traits of other nations?
Let's go to Brazil. Come to Brazil.
Somebody else quoted, in short, a phrase that always comes to me a lot since childhood. Actually, this is the senator that quoted this.
Okay, good. He actually said who quoted it.
No, I figured out who quoted it on this time. Now I've got to start over. The senator quoted, in short, a phrase that always comes to me a lot since childhood when this subject awakened me the desire to know more. It is a human being's pretension to think that we are alone in the universe of my God. And I thought that was pretty cool that as far as they're not afraid to mention God.
Yeah. So,
with that statement, the senator went right to Brazil's version of the Tic Tac UFO encounters in the USS Nimitz. And yeah, those are the ones that look like little Tic Tacs. In 2004, no, which came into public view only in 2017. According to many accounts on the event, the night of the UFOs occurred on May 19th, 1986. A Brazilian Air Force air traffic controller reported a light in the sky close to Sao Paulo. Controllers at Sao Paulo's International Airport told him they had nothing on their screens. At the same time, around 8 p.m., approximately 2,000 cadets and officers from an Air Force training facility nearby reported seeing the lights. At around 9 o'clock, a private plane landing at the airport reported the lights, as did 2 passenger flights, one flying over Brazil's interior. Things got interesting when the Brazilian Air Force sent jets to the location. Quote, sometimes the pilots had visual contact with the targets, but the radar did not register anything. Other times, the radars even picked up the presence of objects, but the pilots could not see them, end quote.
That's weird.
It is weird.
That's cool, though.
And it says there was a controller who watched it around midnight as 3 aircraft, including a Mirage F-103, attempted to intercept the objects. The Mirage reportedly flew at 1,000 miles per hour, but recorded the UFO at an estimated speed of 11,500 miles per hour, 15 times the speed of sound. Years later, he said in an interview, quote, if there is a plane that can develop that speed, I don't know of it, end quote. A pilot of an F-5E who watched the UFO when it stopped coming towards him and started to ascend, end quote. And a photographer on duty at his newspaper was notified of the encounters and took photographs of a UFO. By the end of the night of the UFOs, 21 were reported. Most were estimated to be about 30 meters or 100 feet across, with some at 100 meters or 328 feet, and one at 1.5 kilometers, 0.93 miles wide. So these were not small things that they were seeing.
Yeah.
And the pilots...
UFOs aren't small anyway.
Well, it depends. Some of them are not huge, but some of them have been reported to be like city size. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I would rather...
For all we know, the sky could be just multiple UFOs.
Oh, God, you're going to go down that rabbit hole, aren't you?
Yeah. The sky is falling. It's just a plate. It's a plate. It's a cloaking device.
There are those who think that, for real,
we're trapped.
Dyson sphere. We're living in a Dyson sphere.
Yeah.
The pilots reported sophisticated avoidance behavior and both radar and plane interference. Somebody else quoted, "We are of the opinion that
tell us who quoted it, Mr. Seaburn.
Yeah, that this phenomenon
Seabum.
Are solid and reflect in a certain way intelligence due to the ability to follow and maintain a distance from observers as well as to fly in formation," end quote. News of the encounters leaked to the media almost immediately, and many investigations, including one by the Air Force in 2009, I don't know whose Air Force, whether it was Brazil or ours, concluded that the UFOs were unexplainable by known technology. Quote, "The first case that we are going to comment on is a case of April 29, 1977. There were folks on a boat, people removing wood from an island, who were hit by a light. One person died, 2 were injured. From this incident, which was widely reported by a newspaper, these phenomena began to pop up in other cities." End quote.
Okay.
Now, I did edit the quote because, it had things that I could not even pronounce. So, the hearing also went into great details on investigations of other well-known and lesser-known Brazilian UFO encounters. In 1977 and 78, when civilians were reportedly attacked and killed by unexplained lights, and an official who released the documents later took his own life.
Allegedly.
No, I mean, it wasn't allegedly. That's what he says.
No, like he could have been killed rather than took his own life.
Anyhow, he'd be dead. Another
he'd be dead.
Another discussed was
the
so-called acre assault in 2014, when indigenous tribes of the Amazon reported many UFO sightings, including a silver craft that landed and killed a pregnant woman with a light beam. On the military side, the hearing also discussed the 1974 Trinidad Island incident, when a crew of a naval ship saw a disc emerge from the waters near Rio de Janeiro, circled around them, and then returned to the ocean. Photos and classified documents from that incident were shown. In addition to UFO reports, a number of abductions were discussed, including that of somebody. He was
somebody.
Antonio somebody, who in 1957 reported being captured and experimented on by 3 men wearing what looked like scuba gear. Then he was presented to a naked female, supposed female, and forced to have sex. An investigation later found that this gentleman had signs of radiation poisoning. Now, I actually have heard this man's account before, and it is disturbing. I mean, alien. It's like here's this alien thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah.
No.
The text of the conference can be read on the website. Plus, you can also watch the 5-hour video on Mysterious Universe. Just so if you want to go to the link and hear all this. I don't know what language it's in. because I didn't go to the link or click on it. But if you speak,
I hope it has subtitles.
Portuguese or whatever it is that they speak in Brazil, then, you know, maybe it's got subtitles.
Do you want me to look up real quick?
No. And it says that...
I'm curious myself.
Well, we'll check that afterwards. It says it was truly an extensive and eye-opening way to celebrate World Day of UFOlogy with both military and civilian testimonies and analysis. It would be a great model for the U.S. Pentagon's UFO task force to follow for its next public hearing, especially by opening it up to non-military UFO encounters.
Wow.
And there were a lot of people that could have been chosen to speak. Of course, it's not like our government has a wonderful way. Well, I'm being very facetious.
Mama.
That it appears to be doing something. It's all a dog and pony show. It's to try to placate the public on certain things while they do nothing except spend the public monies. You know, we're paying a whole lot for nothing. Well, it's true. People, I ain't the only one that's noticed this. So you've got all these other committees, which nothing is ever resolved. Nothing is ever disclosed. Some of this stuff that they're like, oh, we're going to make this available for you or whatever. And it is so redacted that it's worthless. So it's good to know that Brazil is taking this seriously. Mm. And that they apparently don't have the animosity towards their citizenry that some of the other countries have.
Yeah.
You know, that is a good example.
I want to go to Brazil.
I would like to visit Brazil. I really would.
I would like to visit Brazil and see how they function.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're good enough, maybe we could move there.
Well, I don't know. I like our country. I just want our country to be our country again. But
I want it to be functional.
But that
and right now it's not functional.
No, it's not. But there are so many stories coming out lately about the UFO things. Government's talking about the UFO things. That's not coincidence. And that's the reason we have been discussing this more often, is because these are the stories that are taking place more often. Mm-hmm. And because I know that there's some people that's like, I don't want to hear about the UFOs. Well, that's what, I don't want to say trending, but those are the things that are, they're out there. You know, because Mysterious Universe, the reason I use them is they do update. They have new stories daily. Some of them are great, and some of them are, Right
now, what's sort of trending is like energy shifts. That's what's trending right now.
Well, planetary alignments and stuff. That is one thing that causes these energy shifts, and that people want to discount the astrology. They just don't even like the word astrology. That's the reason I call it planetary alignments.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of things, words have certain
connotations.
Yeah, and some people want to shy away from that. It's like, I don't want to hear anything about that. And it's not like what you read in the newspaper or, you know, whatever's going to happen that day, which is usually bullshit. Not all of them, but most of them are.
Yeah.
But as far as truly the planetary alignments and some of the people that I listen to, God love him, I have massive respect for Leo King, David Palmer, but sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 hours of listening to what he's saying to get to the crux of the matter, which usually is a sentence or two.
Yeah, pretty much.
So when I give you all,
it's like, yes, make me weed through the bullshit.
Well, and that's sort of kind of what I have to do.
Yeah.
And that's just like we had the new moon there on the 28th. Mm-hmm. And so that was an interesting shift from what he's been saying until you think things are rough now. he has talked before that on Halloween, on October 31st this year, 2022, that things are going to get even more interesting.
In a bad way.
Yeah. So
are things ever going to be lightening up?
I think that what they're saying is possibly like 2025.
We are going to die before then.
Well, hopefully not. It's a matter of... That doesn't mean that it's not going to lighten up some. There was another source that esoteric astrology or esoteric something. His name is Sky, and he's much calmer. He's much calmer, but he has some good insight into things, and he was saying that some of the energy is going to lighten up some around 2023. So we're getting ready to come into July. So it's just a matter of making preparations, hunkering down, and then just, yeah.
Loves it.
Don't be around people that panic easily. Don't be around people that are sheeple, that believe these talking heads in the boxes, that don't think for themselves. Make good alliances. Mm-hmm. Just pretend you're preparing for the zombie apocalypse and who you would or would not want in your camp.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think it's zombies. I think it's the zombies already amongst us.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah. They've been there for quite a while.
The actual Walking Dead.
Well, it depends on... There's different forms of death.
We ain't talking about spiritual death. We're talking about physical death.
Yeah. What's the difference, really?
There is a difference.
I don't know. I really don't. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Get you some ramen noodles. Get you a 6-month supply of ramen noodles.
Get you some water.
Yeah.
A water filter.
Yeah, water purifier is always good.
Water filters. Learn how to purify water without the shit.
Get you a fishing pole and bait. Those who know. Anyhow. Do you want anything else?
I'm confused about that. I don't even know.
Well, I will explain it afterwards.
Damn.
It's a matter of talking without talking to try to weed through the damn AI. You know that. I know that. That's the reason that as far as some of the... it's not just me that does that. There's quite a few creators that have these odd titles trying to weed through the AI.
And then y'all leave us in the dark and we're like, what?
No, they'll figure it out. They really will. Our viewers are quite intelligent people, so I don't worry about that. Your viewers,
but I'm talking about me.
Well, I can explain to you off camera. So that's the thing. If you've had experiences with the paranormal, supernatural,
collect up on shrunken heads.
Encounters.
It'd be a great time to learn how to shrink heads.
Yeah, really. Encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, techniques for making shrunken heads. If you've got local, regional, or family myths or legends, send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And the email address is also in the description box. Mm-hmm. Know that you're loved.
Yes. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all. Have a good.
We'll see you on the next cup. Yeah, really. Keep your head on a swivel for real. Bye.
Head on a swivel. Head on a swivel. I really want the dame.